Yes, indeed. B Marsh Boxing back at it with another video, man. Long time since I done one of these. What's goody boxing heads and fight fans around the world? I'm back at it with another controversial decisions. I think for 2018 I might have made one. Might have made one in December, man. I can't remember. You know what I mean? But I'm back at it, you know what I'm saying? People been requesting them. Sorry I ain't been up on it, but I'm back at it with another one, man. Taking you back to 1988, and we going to France, some suburb out there in France. It wasn't Paris, but it was somewhere out there in Paris, in France. You know what I mean? We got the WBC Lightweight Champion of the world, Jose Ramirez, Jose Luis Ramirez. And he's going against the challenger. What is he? 15 and 0, I think 14 and 0 at this time. Sweepy Pernell Whitaker from Norfolk, Virginia. You know what I mean? Now, the man Jose Ramirez was a champion. He got that title, WBC title. Who did he beat for that? Let me go back. I think he beat Edwin Rosario. You know what I mean? A Hall of Famer. Rest in peace to Edwin Rosario from Puerto Rico. That was actually the rematch where he beat him. You know what I mean? He actually stopped him in the fourth round, you know what I'm saying? He beat the shit out of him, you know what I mean? Edwin Rosario was even turning his back. He was out on his feet, you know what I'm saying? He didn't contest the stoppage. He just took the beating and, Jose Luis Ramirez was finally a world champion, you know what I mean? Luis Ramirez was a good fighter. He's not in the International Boxing Hall of Fame in Canastota, New York, but he is in the World Boxing Hall of Fame, the one that's based out in I think it's based in Los Angeles, you know what I mean? Now let's get into it, man. Now, like I said, man, it's Pernell Sweepy, 1984 Olympian. This guy in his 14th world title fight, or 15th, he's going after the man Jose Luis Ramirez, you know what I mean? Now, this was a controversial decision, hence the title of the video. Now, let's get into it, man. Round one, I gave that round one to Pernell Whitaker. You know what I mean? He was landing the body shots. The guy was boxing off the back foot. You know what I'm saying? Jose Luis Ramirez was missing. And, he wasn't really cutting off the ring. He was just following the man Sweepy. Sweep, there we go. You see it right here. The man's moving on the back foot, pumping out his jab. Don't you see that left hand that landed? You know what I'm saying? The man Pernell Whitaker was a superb boxer, and his defense was second to none, man. This is one of the best defensive fighters you'll ever see in the ring. Past, present, and future, you know what I mean? Man, Pernell Whitaker's on his own level when it comes to his defense. All right, round two, I gave that to Pernell Whitaker, you know what I mean? He was landing the jab, you know what I'm saying? And the left hand over the top, these are two southpaws right here, you know what I mean? Pernell Whitaker, he was basically outboxing the man Jose Luis Ramirez, who's just, he's not really cutting off the ring well, as you can see on the film. You know what I'm saying? Pernell Whitaker's body shot game was one of his best attributes. A lot of people don't give him credit for his inside game. Pernell, look at the foot movement. Look at that with the left right there. You know what I'm saying? After pivoting left and right with his defense. The man Jose Luis Ramirez in round two was landing few punches, you know what I mean? The man Pernell Whitaker was controlling the ring generalship, boxing off the back foot, triple jabbing, you know what I'm saying? He was circling to his left to avoid the man's left hand, you know what I mean? The man Pernell Whitaker was boxing a superb fight after 2 rounds. Round three, I also gave that to Pernell Whitaker, you know what I mean? The man Ramirez was throwing his jab, that was an underrated asset from the man Jose Luis Ramirez, you know what I mean? He was a pressure fighter, no question about it, but he was definitely a guy who would, let his hands go when he puts the pressure on you, try to cut off the distance, and he gets inside with his jab, you know what I'm saying? What are we in round three? Ramirez, he's throwing his jab, and the right hook was landing, you know what I mean? And the man Pernell Whitaker was even trading with the man Jose Luis Ramirez in the center of the ring. Round four, I also gave that to Pernell Whitaker. You know what I'm saying? He was slipping punches from wide punches from the man Jose Luis Ramirez. And, he was throwing vicious head body combinations, you know what I mean? The man Pernell Whitaker was an underrated combination puncher, a guy who throws shoe shine type of punches, but some telling shots, you know what I mean? Kind of punches that, he's a guy who could throw 6 punch combination in like 2 seconds, and you're like, wow, the man is just a superb boxer, you know what I mean? Very confident in his skill set. Um, Round 5 was a good round for the man Jose Luis Ramirez, you know what I mean? He was putting the pressure. He's finally cutting off the ring, you know what I mean? Cutting off the ring, putting the pressure on the man Pernell Whitaker, you know what I'm saying? Pernell Whitaker isn't as quick with his when he was pulling out from punches just like he did right there. He's getting caught with some lead right hooks, you know what I'm saying? So the man Jose Luis Ramirez is finding he's definitely finding some success in round 5, you know what I mean? But still, I still had to give that round 5 to Pernell Whitaker because of the eye-catching combination punches he was landing. You know what I mean? Round 6, well, that was a close round. You know what I mean? Ramirez is closing the gap. He's definitely closing down the distance. You know what I mean? Getting on the inside with his kind of leaping right and left hooks. He's using his jab to close the distance. And Pernell Whitaker looks like he's getting tired from all the movement, You got to remember, this man, Pernell Whitaker, for almost 12 rounds of a fight, is going to employ a lot of motion and lateral movement, you know what I mean? So, you got to have a lot of stamina to do that, you know what I'm saying? But the man, Pernell Whitaker, he himself admitted after he felt he had won the first 6 rounds. Then after that, he was just in cruise control, you know what I mean? Basically coasting. These are Pernell Whitaker's words. This is not me speculating or insinuating. This is what Pernell Whitaker said from his mouth, Round 7, I also gave that to Jose Luis Ramirez, you know what I mean? Ramirez was landing straight lefts more than the man Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker matched him, but the man with the straight lefts like that, like he just threw right there. But the man, Jose Luis Ramirez, he landed the more telling left hands because, like I said, these are two southpaws right here, as you can see. And, Jose Luis Ramirez, his left hand, like I said, the man Pernell Whitaker looked like he was getting gassed, you know what I mean? Like he was getting tired or he was taking rounds off, but I don't think he was taking rounds off to take straight left hands like he was from Jose Luis Ramirez in the 7th round. You know what I mean? But Pernell Whitaker did land a nice 3-punch combination, you know what I'm saying? It was a jab to a 1-2 to the head followed by a right kind of uppercut, right hook, right to the gut, you know what I'm saying? Pernell Whitaker inside game was superb, you know what I mean? When he had to go in the trenches, he would, you know what I mean? Basically the blueprint to beat boxers like Pernell Whitaker is to make it a more of a dog fight, you know what I mean? Make it a roughhouse fight, which what's his name? Jose Luis Ramirez, even if he intended to, Pernell Whitaker would get on the inside and he'd throw some punches in there and then he'd clinch, you know what I mean? And he'd let the referee break it up. So that was a good tactic by the man, Pernell Whitaker. Okay. Round 8. Ramirez is still bringing the pressure, you know what I mean? He brought the pressure every single round, you know what I mean? But there's a difference between, aggression and bringing pressure and effective aggression, you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter how aggressive you are, is your aggression effective? And in these particular rounds, from round 6, 7, and 8 that I gave to Ramirez, the pressure was definitely on Pernell Whitaker from Luis Ramirez. Ramirez was landing leaping punches, and his jab was like it is. You see right there how he sets it up with the jab. And even if he's missing shots, he did land some shots in these rounds for me to give him those rounds, you know what I mean? The man Ramirez lands a vicious straight left hand. Pernell Whitaker looks fatigued and he's beginning to clinch in these rounds, you know what I'm saying? So round 8, I gave that to the man Jose Luis Ramirez. All right. Round 9. Round 9 was Pernell Whitaker looks like he's catching a second wind, you know what I mean? Throwing his combinations. His movement is superb, you know what I mean? Boxing off the back foot, you know what I mean? Sweet, basically making the man have to, what's his name? Jose Luis Ramirez, who's a flat-footed fighter, have to kind of reset his feet every time the man Pernell Whitaker is using his lateral movement. You know what I mean? And he's slipping punches beautifully, you know what I'm saying? Even with his hands down, just basically pulling back and, which is a cardinal sin when it comes to boxing, you know what I'm saying? But guys with superb defense like the man Pernell Whitaker, he's, you know what I mean? He just was looked like he caught a second win after round 10. You know what I'm saying? After round 9, excuse me. Round 10, Pernell's throwing combinations off the back foot. Ramirez is still bringing the aggression and pressure. It was a close round, you know what I'm saying? But the man, Jose Luis Ramirez, even threw a punch on the break, you know what I'm saying? A kind of left hook, you know what I mean? But he ain't get warned for it. Matter of fact, the referee, when that was a kind of dirty play from Jose Luis Ramirez, but the referee, when and was talking to the man Pernell Whitaker. He was basically scolding him, you know what I mean? But all in all, I gave that round 10 to Pernell Whitaker, but it was a close round, you know what I mean? Round 11, Pernell Whitaker's trading on the ropes. He has the man Jose Luis Ramirez on the ropes. He's throwing combinations, catches him with a beautiful right hook. This guy definitely, Luis Ramirez, got a chin, you know what I'm saying? Because he took that right hook like a soldier, you know what I mean? And he ain't go down, but Pernell Whitaker was winning the exchanges when he had the man Luis Ramirez on the ropes, you know what I'm saying? Um, um, Pernell Whitaker also lands a beautiful four-punch combination, you know what I'm saying? Kind of shoe-shine shots, but all of them straight to the face, you know what I mean? While the man, Jose Luis Ramirez, was coming forward. Luis Ramirez did land a two-punch combination. The reason I mentioned it is because that was the only combination that he landed in the fight. You know what I mean? As you can see him here, even while he's missing all those punches, those are one punches. This is a one punch at a guy time. You know what I mean? That's how Luis Ramirez throws his punches. You know what I mean? But he did throw a combination, which was kind of, you know, caught me off guard. You know what I'm saying? But it was a 1-2, one to the stomach. I'm sorry, a jab to the face and a right to the stomach. All right. Round 12, Ramirez missed mad shots, man. He looked like Pacquiao versus Mayweather in there. Missed plenty of shots. He came, he tried to put it on, tried to go for the knockout. But the man, Pernell Whitaker, was just on his back foot, making slipping punches and, counter punching, shoe shine shots, beautiful uppercuts, and he was slipping punches. So for that round, I had to give it to the man, Pernell Whitaker, you know what I mean? So in this fight, this was definitely one of the baddest controversial decisions you'll ever see in boxing, you know what I mean? Real talk, This one right there got to be, I'd probably say, in the top 5. Jose Luis Ramirez versus Pernell Whitaker. I had this fight 9 rounds to 3, ladies and gents. Boxing heads of fight fans around the world. 117 to 111, you know what I mean? Pernell Whitaker sweep this guy. Now look, I said there were 2 close rounds. If you have them 2 close rounds on your card, that would make it 7-5 for the man Pernell Whitaker. But there's no way this guy won this fight. There's no way whatsoever that the man Jose Luis Ramirez won this fight. You know what I mean? This was a big robbery. The man Pernell Whitaker was disgusted by the decision. You know what I'm saying? And I could even show y'all. Let me show y'all how disgusted he was with the decision. You know what I mean? He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? They read the scorecards in French. I couldn't understand it, but you could just tell from the reaction from Pernell Whitaker, man. He was disgusted by what happened, you know what I mean? I think this was a fight that he went and sat down on the canvas, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't, yeah, right there. The man sat down on the canvas and he couldn't believe what just happened. And, it is what it is, you know what I mean? But, there's always a bright story when it comes to these robberies. Not for everybody, but the bright story about it after the aftermath. Pernell Whitaker got robbed of his chance of being a world champion on this particular fight. You know what I mean? But, what you call it? he did get to be a world champion. He beat the man Greg Haugen for the IBF title, became the IBF champion, and then he unified in a rematch versus Jose Luis Ramirez. You know what I mean? He unified to become the IBF and the WBC champ. I think that belt was vacant at the time, if I'm not mistaken, because Jose Luis Ramirez eventually went, after he got this robbery versus Pernell Whitaker, he went on to fight, what's his name? Hector Camacho, you know what I'm saying? Hector Camacho beat him for his WBC title, but when Hector Camacho moved up in weight to 140, he vacated the lightweight title, you know what I mean? And Jose Luis Ramirez, yet again, fought for that WBC world title. He's a two-time world champion, you know what I mean, with the WBC 135-pound title. And he's fought fellas like Ruben Olivares. He's only lost to Hall of Famers, Alexis Arguello, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Pernell Whitaker, Julio Cesar Chavez, you know what I mean? So this guy was a durable, tough fighter, you know what I mean? He lost to Edwin Rosario, Hall of Famer, then he beat him in the rematch, you know what I'm saying? So this guy had a good career, you know what I mean? A man who started boxing as a professional at the age of 14 in Mexico. A man with over 100 wins and over 80 KOs. So Jose Luis Ramirez was a bad man in his own right, you know what I'm saying? But he ain't beat Pernell Whitaker in this fight. Controversial decision. B-Marsh Boxing. Check out my playlist on my controversial decisions list. I got it here on YouTube. Just go to my channel, check my playlist, and you'll see these fights that I got in my controversial decisions. This fight I had it 117 to 113. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me go to look at the scorecards. Let me look at the scorecards and see what these judges had it. You know what I'm saying? I'm curious. I know one judge had it ridiculous, like added ridiculous, like 111 to, what is it, like 108 to 118 to 109, you know, some crazy scorecard like that. Let me go look it up. Let me go look it up one time and see what the scorecards were. Let me check it out one time, man. Let me see what these scorecards were, man. Because I know they robbed this man Pernell Whitaker something crucial, man. Something mean. You can see Pernell Whitaker slipping punches, you know what I mean? Jabbing. His jab was one of his best attributes. No question about it. All right. Fuck, I got it all signed in and put in on BoxRec, man. I'm gonna put the scorecards in the description box, you know what I'm saying, so you can peep for yourselves. But this fight was a split decision. That's what I do remember. It was a split decision, and the man Jose Luis Ramirez got a gift decision. B-Marsh Boxing, let me know how you guys scored this fight. All right, peace.